Okay, this video is pretty simple. All it is about how my retention is going to be different from yours. I mean, that should be obvious. That should be so obvious. I mean, really, what this comes down to is you not comparing yourself to other people who are also on this journey, because people are on a different journey. Meaning, let's say me and you were the same, but because I started retention earlier in my life and I've had longer streaks like built up before this. Let's say then we both relapse at the same time, or let's say you start right when I relapse. And so I've been doing this for years. You've been doing this for like this is your first time. When you get to a week versus when I get to a week, it's going to be completely different because I'm going to have compounded benefits. So I'm going to have a little bit of an easier time. But because this is so new to you, it's going to feel much better than it's going to feel for me. For me, it's going to be like, oh, I've been there, done that. But for you, it's going to be brand new. I remember when I first got into my retention journey, I felt like $1,000,000. I remember I was 17, and I was I went out to Orlando, Florida. So I got flown out to Orlando, Florida because I was representing my state on a national level for a national competition having to do with business. It was the ICDC 2019 International Career Development Conference of 2019, and I remember we spent a week out in Orlando, Florida, and I wanted to have the best experience that I possibly could. So when we were staying a week in a hotel, naturally I just did not want to masturbate because I felt an incredible amount of shame, an incredible amount of guilt, apathy, all of those lower emotions. I felt terrible doing that stuff because I was 17. I was chronically addicted to to the sites, to the explicit content, and I was chronically addicted to self pleasuring myself. And I remember I decided to stop for a week, and I stopped for the week that I was there in Orlando, Florida. We were in a hotel. It was amazing, right? But I felt incredible. I felt this incredible sense of self-confidence. I remember women were looking and gazing into my soul. And I don't know if this is because this is the first time I ever tried semen retention at that point, or leading up to that point. But what I will say is that I was 17, so I already have a lot of life force. I think the younger that you are, the more life force that you have naturally, even if you're on semen retention or not on semen retention. The reason being is because you're that much closer to when you're in the womb. When you're in the womb, that's when you're getting the most nutrition from your mother. That's when your mother is really absorbing and creating you, in her womb. And that has a lot to do with the quality of the seed that your father gave that your mother, and then also has a lot to do with how your mother managed stress while she was pregnant, or right. So all these factors play into how well you were produced. And so if you're produced very well, let's say your father was on semen retention, whether he knew it or not, he produced a good seed through the course of spermatogenesis, right? Let's say his sperm matured, and let's say he gave it enough time without activating his sexual pathways in order to properly impregnate your mother. And let's say your mother had a perfect 9-month pregnancy where she wasn't stressed out or anything. Crazy world. That's a crazy world. That's almost impossible, but I mean, it's happened all the time. You see it all the time, but you come out like $1,000,000. You come out strong, healthy. That's the difference between like a healthy offspring and a predisposed offspring, who's predisposed to like uh, diseases and different kind of defects and stuff. And so the point is, the younger you are, the closer you are to that initial life force that you have. So I'm 23 right now. I look amazing. I've been on semen retention since I was 17. Um, obviously not one streak. I wish it was just one streak, but so it was amazing. I was 17, Orlando, Florida. Girls are staring, they're flirting, they're giving me the signals, brushing their hair. It was crazy. I never felt anything like it. I had been so chronically just bogged down by my terrible practices, aka the masturbation, aka the addicted to explicit videos, that I think it had actually it decreased the effectiveness of my body's natural process to facilitate puberty. Meaning I wasn't able to excrete or secrete the proper hormones that my body needed, or or absorb the proper nutrition in a way that would have harbored a healthy growth. Like I feel like I stunted my growth by having this practice in my life. And so you have to be mindful that your body is doing stuff all the time. There's processes in your body all the time. Metabolism is taking place. That's your body's ability to get rid of toxins, right? Your body's ability to break down certain things like within your body that you're drinking, that you're eating. And so look, you got to be mindful. You got to be mindful. You got to be you just got to be on the practice, guys. You got to be on the practice. I forgot where I was going. My train of thought is fucking gone. I just got off of work, guys. You have to be forgiving of me. But check this out, right? The the difference between my streak and your streak is literally the experience. The experience, right? I've been on it longer, or you've been on it longer. We started at different times. But what I'm retaining is literally me. What you're retaining is literally you. Now, what's the difference between me and you? There's a lot of differences. It could be race, could be height, could be this, could be that, right? But the bottom line is the difference is the DNA. The DNA is different. The DNA, the literal genetic makeup material that we're holding in is different. Like, what makes me me is different from what makes you you. And this is obvious, but what is DNA? Like, let's really think about it. It's information, genetic code, right? It's essentially the instructions that your cells have in order to replicate itself, and then also to create the processes and create more instructions, right? But what is DNA? Why are these women so attracted to us? Why is it that my senses are heightened when I'm on semen retention? It's because your DNA is your experience. That is it. The difference between my DNA and your DNA is experience. Now, what are women looking for? Women are looking for to replicate the best DNA, the best experience. If your natural state is to be able to have a great time, to be able to hear, to see, to smell, to feel, to touch in a very heightened and sensitive way, then you're more likely to be replicated with, to be reproduced with, right? If your ability to move things and speak and get a result is easier than others, then you're more likely to be selected. It ain't even about the selection, right? It's not even about the selection. It's about taking control of your life and feeling good about it. Like, for me, semen retention is my last stand. I don't know what to do. If this don't work out, I don't know what to do. And it seems like it's working out because every single day it just feels better. It just feels like I'm getting better, like I'm feeling better. I'm seeing better. I'm becoming better. And I can't give that up. I will not give that up. Ever again. I did it before and I won't do it again. It ain't nothing against these females. There ain't nothing wrong with them. They're just not for me. Until I'm ready to reproduce, I have no use for a woman. And hey, call it what you want. Call it what you want. You could be the dude who's advocating for sex on semen retention. Hey, do your thing. If it works for you, it works for you. You know what I mean? There's this creator in, I think it's short for Siren. Shout out to that dude. That dude drops gems all the time. But he's saying he made a video, and it was about this semen retention being about power. And I agree. Semen retention is about power, but it's not just about gaining power, it's about reclaiming the power. When you were a kid, did you give a fuck? Did you give a fuck about anything? Did you give a fuck about getting your nut off? Did you give a fuck about how you talked or spoke to somebody? Did you give a fuck about how you were perceived? No, you fucking didn't, because you were a kid. You were a kid, but the difference is now we're a man. We're supposed to have a word, and that word is supposed to be the bond, right? We're supposed to be able to say that we're going to do something and then actually do it, okay? The reason why I brought up Rin was because he said, and it makes me laugh because it's I find it hilarious. He said, the real power comes from being able to have sex. He said something to the effect of being able to have sex and not bust, right? Which I completely understand, but to me, it's like, if I were to make a comparison, that would almost be like smoking weed, but like smoking so much and seeing how much it takes for you not to get high. It's like drinking alcohol without getting drunk. Or it's like fucking, I don't know, it's like eating without getting full. I don't see the use of that. I definitely, hey, if I wanna fuck, I'm gonna get mine off, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I've been completely in that mode where I'm having sex and I don't bust. In fact, every time I have sex, I don't bust. But I just stopped deciding to have sex because, back to the DNA, mixing. Do I need to mix with somebody? Do I see this woman and think to myself, damn, I need that? I used to, but now I look in the mirror and I say, damn, I need that. I think about how I was before I ever lost my virginity. And let me tell you, when I lost my virginity, I felt a spiritual protection release. I felt it go. I felt it leave my aura. And all of a sudden, after I lost my virginity, I felt vulnerable. Sort of like similar to the first time that I ever busted. Just felt vulnerable. Look, I'm against busting, not against sex. But for me personally, it's not for me. And I think that's me stepping down from the challenge, like Rin was talking about. And hey man, if you're seeing this, man, mad respect to you. But man, for me, I am at a point in my life where I can't divulge my energy to anybody else or divert my energy to anybody else. I need it to be focused on me, because if I don't have it focused on me, then I'm not able to facilitate a life that I want to curate. And shout out to the people that are already there and are able to do that. Shout out to them. You know, that you guys are in a different position than I am. I am in a much more vulnerable position because, look, this is my last stand. I don't got much going for me. I got a good job. I got a house. I just got a house. I'm going to get a new car. I mean, I have a new car. I'm getting a newer one. It's not even about the materials. It's about creating an experience that you love and would want to live and you want to replicate. And we live in a culture now that promotes becoming a millionaire. And if you're not a millionaire, you're a failure. And I completely disagree. I think we should all strive to be a millionaire. I definitely do. And I definitely think we should all take steps actively. But, man, if I don't, then what? Am I less than? I mean, maybe in the eyes of the rich, maybe I am. You know, maybe because I have less money, I'm less than. But that's not how I was raised. I wasn't raised to look down on somebody just because they had less money than me. Now, I can understand the drive part. You know, if you're rich, you got to drive. And if you look at somebody with less money, you automatically think they have less drive. And I completely agree. Now that I'm on semen retention, I see how much drive people got. I feel like semen retention is gonna get me to the riches. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's gonna get me to the riches because it's giving me the drive. It's giving me the motherfucking angst to do shit that I wouldn't normally want to do. Like getting on the camera. I feel like I need to do this. This needs to happen. Alright, guys. That's all I got for right now. Hope you guys enjoyed.